Hi everyone, today I'm going to discuss follicular lymphoma. So, this is from the Medical Awesome website. This is a mnemonic that I made a long time ago. But basically, it is caused by an overexpression of BCL2. Now, BCL2 gene is involved in preventing cell death or preventing apoptosis. So, if it's overexpressed, the cells don't die, and it is caused by a translocation of 14 and 18. So the way I remember it is the flower and the leaf mnemonic, and you can read more about that in the Medical Awesome website. I think of one flower, so it's 1 and 4 because flower sounds like 4, and then one clover leaf, and then if you look at a 2-leaved clover, it looks like an 8. So that's how I came up with 18. So very hard to remember, I know. And then BCL2, so beautiful clover, and then it will let the buds pop into flowers, which is help them grow but will not let them die. And buds represent B cells. So that was basically the mnemonic. I know it's very silly. So let's look at Harrison's textbook of internal medicine and see what they have to say about follicular cell lymphoma. So I'm basically going to read all of the highlights that I used. So it is a tumor composed of small cleaved and large cells in varying proportions organized in a follicular pattern of growth. Like I said, it's a translocation of 1418 and abnormal expression of BCL2. This is what the follicular lymphoma looks like. The most common presentation is painless lymphadenopathy, and then there are multiple sites of lymphoid involvement. Patients do not have elevated LDH, fevers, night sweats, or weight loss, which are typically called as B symptoms. But if it does transform into diffuse large cell B cell lymphoma, these symptoms can occur, and they occur at the rate of 3% per year. And then, if there is transformation, the transformed disease will be more PET avid, and usually you can treat the disease with radiation if it is amenable to radiation. Otherwise, you might need to use chemotherapy. Most patients also sometimes are asymptomatic, so you can just watch them. When you use chemotherapy, you either use rituximab alone or in combination with various chemotherapy agents. So, indications of using rituximab alone is when you have an inflammatory or an autoimmune phenomenon which is caused by the follicular lymphoma, and if there is like a low volume disease, then you can use rituximab. If you have a larger volume of disease, then you would use R-CHOP, which is rituximab with cyclophosphamide, doxorubicin, vincristine, and prednisone, or CVP regimens with rituximab, so cyclophosphamide, vincristine, and prednisone, or a BR bendamustine and rituximab regimen. So it does reoccur even after treatment, so you can use rituximab again. However, if it's no longer responsive to the initial chemotherapy regimen, then you can try lenalidomide or idelalisib. Sorry, I can't pronounce those. And then, like I said, it does have a high rate of transformation to diffuse large B cell lymphoma, about 3% per year. And then when the patient has a transformation, there's usually a change in the symptoms. So they'll start having B symptoms like fever, night sweats, and weight loss. Or they'll have a lymph node which is often localized and has a rapid growth of that lymph node. With diffuse large B cell lymphoma, you should use R-CHOP chemotherapy, and it's very aggressively treated. Grade 3B follicular cell lymphoma is very similar to diffuse large B cell lymphoma, and they are treated similarly. And if you want to see the grading of the lymphomas, it's right here. I did not highlight it because it's like just memorization, but it depends on the number of centroblasts or large cells. And that's it. Stay awesome.